So who am I? I'm Victor. My name is Victor Temprano. I've been a web developer for many years, at least a dozen years now. I've lost track. I didn't go to school for web development or computer science or anything like that. I actually have a Buddhist studies degree, of all things, and a history degree. So I'm an arts major. And I just got into computer science because I've always been kind of nerdy and because it seemed like a good way to make money. I started off just doing freelancing, so I was really kind of your mercenary web developer. I built anything that people wanted, circus-related websites, dog walkers sites, apps, whatever people needed, bug fixes on their site. So I've worked in WordPress, I've worked in JavaScript, I've worked in PHP, I've worked in so many different languages over the years. I've worked on lots of different hosting platforms. So I have a really good general sense of knowledge of how the internet works and how web development works, what the key things are that you need to do to practically get things working. And that's really my focus. I really focus on doing things practically. Things aren't always going to be as neat and as tidy and as perfect as you might get with some other teachers on this subject, but you're really going to fire along and learn how to do things, learn how to get it working. And then later, when you're a much more advanced developer, if you want to continue down this in a much more concrete way at another point in your career, you can learn all the theory and all the very, very precise things about developing one way or another. I really want to give you all the tools and the basics and avoid you having to spend years of stumbling around trying to figure out everything for yourself, which is kind of what I did. So be smarter than me and learn from me. Learn from all the kind of experience I've accumulated. Now, aside from just being a general web developer, I've focused very heavily in maps for about the last 6 or 7 years. I have a very popular web app that I created. It's called nativeland.ca. It maps out Indigenous territories, treaties, and languages. Go check it out. But I've also just worked on dozens and dozens of map-related projects. I built a small company called Mapster Technology, which is focused as its niche really on web map development and doing spatial type applications. So I've built tons of spatial applications, built tons of maps, and I ran this company and still run this company, although I've scaled it down a lot in the last year, just because I wanted to focus a bit more on things like teaching and just some of my own personal projects. Like I've got a YouTube channel and I'm into history and these sorts of things. So I'm kind of refocusing a little, but I have all this experience and I know a ton about our typical types of web maps and spatial applications, and I want to pass that on to you. So I'm going to be able to talk about a lot of different types of mapping applications, a lot of different ways that we go about building these types of websites, and the common problems you're going to run into and common use cases that you're going to use. So I'm going to be trying to give you those different types of examples. So that's me, that's my whole spiel. In terms of being available, I'll be trying to check the messages for this course as much as I can, but if I don't get back to you in time, just send me a message to victor@mapster.me. That's my email that I have open all the time. So sometimes I don't see messages depending on the different platforms. Send me a message there if you're confused, if there's code missing, if the video is kind of messed up, or whatever questions you have, and I'll be sure to get back to you. So we'll see you in the next video, and I hope you enjoy working with me.